At the end of Cleopatra's incestuous family tree, she was in a relationship with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. I found out that Mark Antony and Julius Caesar were related to each other through this family tree. Lucius had Sextus, who had 3 sons, Sextus, Lucius, and Gaius. Through Sextus, we have Lucius, who had a son who had Lucius, who had Julia, who was the mother to Mark Antony. And through Gaius, we have Gaius, who had the famous Gaius Julius Caesar. They're actually third cousins twice removed. Julius Caesar's great-grandfather's brother was Mark Antony's great-great-great-grandfather. In this video, we'll be going through the relationship of Mark Antony and Cleopatra, and we're going to see how he might have looked in real life. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Here on Mortal Faces, I take historic portraits to see how individuals we read about might have looked back in the day, and I also go through some of their family trees, so subscribe for more recreations and let me know in the comments who you'd like to see in real life. The last Egyptian pharaoh was neither Egyptian nor male. It was Cleopatra VII, and she came from the Greek Ptolemaic dynasty and was famous for her personality and charisma. If there is anything else Cleopatra was also known for, it was her love affairs and struggles that came along with it. There's no denying that by the time Cleopatra came to power, Egypt was in a steady decline. The only way she could help save her empire was by gaining an external support. That's when Julius Caesar entered the picture. You see, after Cleopatra became the Egyptian ruler, her brother turned husband tried to sabotage her. He wanted the entire Egyptian empire for himself and went to great lengths to win the trust of the council members of the kingdom. Still burning with the desire to save her empire, Cleopatra decided to approach the mighty Caesar and convince him to help keep her empire. After Caesar defeated Pompey, he was in Alexandria. During his grand celebration, Cleopatra hatched a plan to convince the Roman dictator before he too would fall prey to her brother's tactics. She smuggled herself into the royal palace and perfectly landed in Caesar's room. Caesar was taken by the Egyptian pharaoh at first glance. After coaxing him to sleep with her, Cleopatra revealed the distress she had faced back in Egypt. Caesar immediately agreed to help her by providing her with all the support she needed, and thus Cleopatra got what she came for. That affair didn't end there though. Soon, Cleopatra discovered that she was pregnant with Caesar's child. She bore Caesar, his only son, and named him Ptolemy Caesar, or Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. Hearing this news, the Romans were outraged. Having an heir with semi-Roman blood from the uncivilized Egyptian society was unacceptable to them. The situation only escalated after Caesar died. Cleopatra was convinced to raise his son as the heir to Rome. On the other hand, Caesar passed on his legacy to his grandnephew, Octavian, also known as Augustus. However, Roman general Mark Antony was also in competition for power. With Cleopatra around, Augustus set his eyes on the Egyptian empire to expand his governance. Cleopatra once again found her kingdom at the brink of danger. When Cleopatra was in Rome, she became friends with Mark Antony. By some accounts, Cleopatra's beauty would not have turned heads at first sight, but she was deeply charismatic and was noted for her sweetness of voice. Cleopatra also knew she had the advantage. Antony had seen her in Alexandria 14 years earlier and had been captivated by her then, so now they fell wildly in love. With her authority in danger, once again she requested to meet Antony in Tarsus, which is in present-day Turkey. Just as she seduced Caesar into the deal, she planned to try similar but grander tactics to attract Antony towards her and gain his trust. This goes without saying, Antony was so taken with Cleopatra that he forgot why he came in the first place. Instead, he left his wife in Rome and spent maximum time with this lady pharaoh at Tarsus. Within a year, Cleopatra gave birth to Antony's twins Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene II. However, this happy love story didn't last for long. At the other end of Rome, Augustus went on a rampage to assert that he deserved the sole power. When the news of the recent affair of Antony with Cleopatra reached Augustus, he declared war against the Egyptian Empire. Wanting to save his lover's pride, Antony too participated in the war, but that didn't end well for the lovers. Augustus was successful at defeating the Egyptians and overtook the empire. Through his long and bloody battle, not only did Augustus win over the pharaoh, but he was also successful at defeating Antony, and thus became the first sole ruler of the Roman Empire. humiliated and defeated. Antony tried killing himself by falling on a sword, which was an old Roman tradition, but he was unsuccessful at that as well. His wounded body was taken to Cleopatra, who was hiding in a mausoleum. Antony took his last breath in his lover's arms and met his tragic ending. Unable to face the embarrassment of losing her kingdom, Cleopatra too soon died. Thus came an end to an age of pharaohs, and Rome became the new superpower of the world. And that's just a little bit about the relationship of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, you can see Cleopatra's full family tree on my channel. I talk about all their interbreeding. Subscribe for more recreations and family trees. Each of your subscriptions does help this channel grow. It allows me to continue making more content for you. Let me know in the comments who you'd like to see in real life. I do make a list of all your suggestions, and I will see you in the next one.